Welcome everyone to another session of C4S classes where we'll be discussing objective questions based on the topic balance of payments. So the paragraph that you see on the screen is taken from a recent news article. Alright. So the article was how the rupee has strengthened under Modi government. So this article was published on 24th of April 2024. So let's discuss the terms associated with balance of payments. So first term is NEER. It stands for nominal effective exchange rate. So it is a measure of value of a country's currency against a group of other major currencies. All right. So it takes into account the exchange rate between country's currency and currency of its main trading partners. So in simple terms, what we can say is NEER is like a report card for a currency, right? That shows how strong or weak it is compared to other currencies. So instead of focusing on one currency, we are looking at a basket of different currencies to get a better viewpoint. So we are not using one currency only. Let's suppose here it is USD. So we will not be using only one currency. We will be using a basket of currencies to see the performance of a currency. Okay. So next term related to NEER is REER. It is similar to NEER, but here R stands for real. That means when real we are talking about, so here it takes inflation into consideration. So not only the inflation of a particular country, but inflation going on in other countries also. Basket of currencies we are taking here. So inflation differentials are taken into account. In order to find out which currency is appreciating or which is depreciating. So now in general terms, when the value of NEER increases, it means currency is getting stronger. Or in other words, we can say currency is getting appreciated. All right. And opposite would be true when NEER decreases. So currency will be appreciated against basket of currencies. Now we'll see the impact of increase or decrease of NEER with trade. So impact on trade. So when NEER increases, appreciation of currency takes place. All right. So when currency appreciation takes place, that means imports are getting cheaper and exports are getting costly. So here we are losing the trade edge, trade competitiveness. It decreases trade competitiveness when NEER increases. And opposite would be true for NEER. When it NEER decreases, depreciation of currency will take place. That will leads to imports getting costly and exports cheaper. So the article which was given in the news, they had taken two indices, a 40 basket index and 6 basket index. And they had taken 2015-16 as base year and base value was taken as 100. Now, accordingly, when the value of rupee would be greater than 100, that means rupee is getting effectively appreciated. Value of rupee less than 0, that would mean rupee getting effectively appreciated. All right. Now that we have discussed the concepts behind the topic, we can move to the objective questions that were asked in the session. So first question was, what is the nominal effective exchange rate of the rupee? So it was asking the definition. So the definition was the weighted average of rupees exchange rates vis-a-vis the currencies of India's major trading partners. All right. So second question was, what does REER factor in that NEER doesn't count in? So REER means real and NEER means nominal. So what does REER count in? It counts in inflation differential between India and its trading partners. And in nominal effective exchange rate, we don't consider inflation at all. So third question was, what does an increase in REER imply for India's trade competitiveness? So as I told you a few moments ago, that when REER increases, that means our currency is getting appreciated. And appreciated currency leads to what? Here they are asking about trade competitiveness. So trade competitiveness would be more when exports are cheap. But as currency appreciates, our imports get cheap and exports become costly. So as exports are getting costlier, that means we are losing the trade edge. Or the answer of this question would be a loss of trade competitiveness. Fourth question was asking for the base year. So I told you the base year is 2015-16. Next question we had was, why has the rupee's depreciation against US dollar has been higher compared to its depreciation against other major currencies? So what does this question means is actually rupee has depreciated against US dollar. Let's suppose it has depreciated against US dollar by X amount, and rupees depreciation against other currencies, let's suppose euro, yen, it is Y. They are saying the depreciation against US dollar X is more than Y. The reason is because US dollar has appreciated more against these currencies. That means all these basket of currencies have depreciated against US dollar. So this effect has been seen that rupee has depreciated more against US dollar, but in comparison to this depreciation is low because these basket of currencies have also depreciated, but to a lesser extent than US dollar. So the answer was the US dollar has strengthened against most major currencies, or in reverse terms, we can say the most major currencies have faced depreciation or lost their strength against US dollar. Then next question was, what does an REER value above 100 signify for the rupee? So as I told you, the base value was taken as 100. So above 100 would mean overvaluation, and less than 100 would mean undervaluation. All right. Other question was, how does India's inflation rate impacts the rupees REER? So the answer would be inflation differentials with trading partners affect the REER. If inflation is taking place in India, it won't have an impact on NEER or REER. Here we can write here. But only the differential of interest. That means inflation, here it is inflation. So inflation would not affect REER, but the difference in inflation between the basket of currencies and the Indian rupee will impact the REER. So the word that should be mentioned was inflation differentials. Here, if inflation differentials was there, then the question would have been different. Here they were asking inflation rate on. So we gave the answer that inflation differentials with trade partners affect the REER. So that's all for today. Thank you and have a nice day.